Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daily High with your host, Matt McGregor and Tone Vase. Good morning, Tone. How are you, mate? Big day for you
Morning,
yesterday.
morning. I'm good. No, my yesterday was crazy. The moment the show ended, it was 8 a.m. In Honduras. I got picked up to go diving. I came back at 10:30 at night. The fourth and final dive of the day was a night dive that ended at like 7:30 or 8 p.m.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a crazy day. I was just telling Matt about the night dive. Four of us went night diving. Each one of us started with two flashlights. When we got back to the boat, two were still working. And this is why you always bring backups of shit. My primary light failed in like 10, 15 minutes. My backup, eventually, I got my backup to work. Yeah, it was, and that one failed right as I was getting out of the boat. So it's definitely a fun experience.
Tone messaged me after he'd finished all his dives, and well, I'll paraphrase it. He's just like, I'm fucking rooted. I don't know. I'm so tired. This is the most exhausting thing ever. I'm dealing with my own stresses over here, Tone. I, I'm not young anymore, and I'm preparing for this fight. I think I'm overtraining. I'm 3 weeks out from this big fight in Denver in the karate combat, and I might have to take a couple of days off. Every part of my body, I just can't get out of bed. It's just like I'm just training like 5 hours a day. It's too much. It's too much. I can't handle it. Losing power. All right, let's go into the charts. I'll go first
Go for
as
it.
always, and we'll pivot from there. Look, hey, what the H? Great, sensational rally off last night's bottom. Yesterday when we did the show, it was probably the price was around 95. I'm guessing, Tone. It was around that time, about 9:30 last night, my time, 9:30. We had that great rally off the bottom, but I wasn't prepared to enter a trade. It kind of looked like it was fading. I was, watching it up until about 1 o'clock last night, thinking, "Oh man, this is a good rally. We got above some of the moving averages here, but it looks like it's starting to fade." And then just out of nowhere, it just in one 15-minute candle, just before bedtime, is 1:30 in the morning for me. It sort of changed everything for me, and I took on the trade 10x leverage, and I woke up in the morning pretty damn happy. I think I woke up at about 7 a.m. The price was, at 102,000, which was where we back really in the whole meat and potatoes of where we wanted to be. It did have a fade throughout the day, came back inside we're on the 15-minute time frame right now. I'll build up, came back into the green wave, got some green diamonds and whatnot like that. And now it's sort of starting to look interesting again. These moving averages are rounding back up. It looks like tonight, my time tonight and your time today in America, looks like it wants to have another crack. And hell, I'm all for it. I'm still in the trade. When the price came down here, I was like, ugh, am I gonna waste this? I mean, that trade from this line where I entered at 96 to 102, that was about a 60 percenter, with 10x leverage. It's a damn fine trade, but I didn't pull any profit, didn't do anything, and I'm still sitting in that trade right now at about, we'll call it 40% profit. So we'll just see how this plays out. If it comes back down again below 97, I'll probably go to bed tonight with a stop loss at there 97,777, give or take, right? I want to profit on this trade, but I want more than anything for it to kick off. So that's it on the 15-minute. That's the very short time frame. The 4-hour is a little bit more conservative, really. That crack on what we had came back and really stalled out right at the cluster of the 50 simple moving average and the 30 simple moving average. We came back down, closed below the 7, and then came back up at, twice today in the last 8 hours and retouched on the 7 again and the 200 cluster. So it's not bad, right? It just is below the moving averages, all 4 moving averages on the 4-hour time frame. So really what I want to see is as obvious as it gets. I would love this to be a higher low compared to the lows that we put in, yesterday. Get above all 4 moving averages again, the 7, the 200, the 30, and the 50, and then put in a new higher neckline on this W pattern or whatever you want to call it, right? That's ideally at above 102. I'll be feeling really, really good again about this. Below the moving averages as they stand right now, we're not out of the woods, so we'll see. we'll see. I'm still feeling better than I was yesterday, so we'll leave it at that. I'm trying not to, flip flop day to day. I'm just talking about the trading positions. I didn't, get out of my long term positions. The daily, you know, it's the same jazz. We came back up and we stalled out below the 7. We're still below the 7. Now we're below the 30 as well. Love to see this go green. Really love to see this go green. But as it stands, it's not. So we're just wait and see what happens. But I mean, this candle goes green and we're looking really good again. It's only a Tuesday show, so I don't need to look at the weekly, but I just might have a gander. Yeah, that's fine. Above all the moving averages once again. Back in as I said at the start, the meat and potatoes, the belly of the beast. So that's okay. I'm feeling all right about that. I'm going to just check out really quickly the 3-day time frame, which I haven't looked at for quite some time, but it's always really good and great. It looks really good too. It's exactly what I wanted to see. We've come back down on some of these corrections and retouched beautifully on the 30 simple moving average. This correction here was supported by the 30 once again, and today we've come back up and retouched the 7. If TA doesn't work, it's just the biggest coincidence you've ever seen. So it just continually is coincidental. I'm using the same moving averages across every time frame, but I always love this bullish cross on the 3-day, which happened, way back at 60, and it hasn't had the bearish cross yet at all. So that's a really fantastic trade. And we're still, as far as the 3 days concerned, doing nothing, feeling great. So I'm coming off screen share now, Tone, as I make my way back. There's like 2 more things I have to do than I used to do back on Zoom, but it's not that bad. I don't mind this software. Please like and subscribe. Please share it with your friends. Affiliate links for the exchanges that we trust in the description below. And Tone, what do you reckon on a Tuesday? How are we feeling? A lot better today than we were yesterday, that's for sure.
Let's go take a look. So there was something right after the show ended. I'm like, oh man, I forgot to say something. I forgot to mention that when we were leaving the show on Friday, I talked about max pain and how I expected the price of Bitcoin to fall into max pain, as I always expect the price of Bitcoin to fall into max pain. Let me refresh this page. And I expected us to close the week at approximately 58, where max pain was for the end of January. And if we go to IBIT and pull up IBIT, by the way, so all the shitcoins have recovered. I know I'm jumping around here. Like, look at Ethereum recovered, even though that's a monthly chart. But if you go to the daily, right, like all the shitcoins recovered nicely. But I'm gonna deviate here a bit. When Bitcoin crashed, the shitcoins crashed so much more, and people have to understand that that is not an exception. That is the norm. That is the way of life. No different than silver and gold. When gold crashes, silver crashes more, way more by percentage. Same thing with shitcoins. Ethereum, Solana, you name your shitcoin, it crashed more than Bitcoin in percentage terms. So it crashed against Bitcoin.
It's a real amateur thing to say. Oh, I'm not just Bitcoin only. I want to diversify my portfolio by going into a bunch of shit coins and meme coins. That is like such a undiversified portfolio. You wouldn't believe it. You might as well just 10x trade Bitcoin at that point.
Right. You are entering a correlated asset to Bitcoin, like 99% correlated, with a high beta skewed to the downside. So when Bitcoin crashes, every single shitcoin crashes a lot more. And when they recover, they look like they're recovering amazingly well against Bitcoin. Look at this reversal candle on Ethereum or Solana. Well, Solana candle actually went green, surprisingly, a little bit. But most of them did not even go green. So when they recover, look at B-Trash. Look at this massive recovery. But the recovery did not break the prior high. It stayed as a red candle. Ethereum stayed as a red candle. So they crash more, but they never recover as much as Bitcoin does. And that is why you are in a perpetual downward spiral, only losing your money on a longer term time scale by holding any shitcoin that has ever existed in the entire history of crypto. And the moment people understand that, they become what some people call Bitcoin maxis, which is the normal position. And even XRP did the same shit, I'm pretty sure. Where the hell is it? Yeah, there it is. Okay, it recovered into a slight green candle, barely. Okay, but look, it's already down today against Bitcoin. But look at this crash against Bitcoin, right? That made a ridiculous low. And if Bitcoin would have stayed down, this shit would have stayed down way further than Bitcoin. But Bitcoin will always recover, shitcoins do not. Okay, let's get back to the Max Payne situation. I was going to open iBit and take a look where it closed on Friday. On Friday, when we did our show, Bitcoin was at the top, trading above 60. Max Payne was at 58. Even I didn't think we would close below or at Max Payne on Friday evening. And we did. Friday's close was 57.71. So it was right at Max Payne, a little bit below Max Payne, but that doesn't matter. I mean, it hurts the bullish guys more than the bearish guys. But Max Payne, and then someone asked me, "Oh, Tone, what do you think is going to happen on Monday, Tuesday?" And my answer was, well, I have no idea what's going to happen on Monday, Tuesday. All I know is that on Thursday afternoon and Friday morning, I will always expect any asset to trend towards Max Payne. It doesn't matter if it's Apple stock, it doesn't matter if it's gold, any asset trends towards Max Payne. Now, sometimes it doesn't happen, but more often than not, it trends in that direction into Max Payne and closes fairly close to it very, very often. Now, some Max Paynes are more important than others. For example, the monthly Max Payne is more important than the weekly Max Payne. So the next very critical Max Payne that you're looking at is a $55 iBit price on February 21st, with 59 Max Payne coming in this Friday. Now we go back to iBit and we look at where we are today. Today in pre-market, we are at 56.58. So I am expecting the price of Bitcoin to rise into $59 on iBit, which I don't know, whatever it corresponds to on the price of Bitcoin. So probably like 102,000 or something, 103,000, somewhere in that direction. Okay. So I am expecting us to rise into this Friday, but I'm also expecting us to fall into February 21st. Now, these Max Payne numbers, they're not written in stone. I guarantee you by the time January 15, 2027 comes around, it's not going to be $40 Max Payne, okay? That Max Payne could be $140 by the time we get here. It has to do with how much money people are investing in option markets for this particular close. And with 2 years to go, it's got, a lot more time to absorb a lot more capital. That is how you utilize the knowledge of Max Payne in your trading. I mean, there's no such thing as a foolproof trading strategy that makes you 100% on every single trade. But this is an important piece of information that no one should ignore. This is so much more important than the silly CME gaps, which I find completely irrelevant. This information is actually important, right? Because no one has their money on the line over the historical CME gap. But this is real money on the line in real time.
Yeah, and it's not dissimilar to how we used to talk about like BitMEX funding rates as well. I find there's
Right.
you can definitely feel the room temperature, that's for sure, when they're overly extended in one direction or another.
All right, I got to finish up quickly here because I got my ride in 5 minutes to do more diving today. And just like yesterday, I had no cell phone. So, like in between dives, we got a cell phone reception, and like we saw Bitcoin was 100K. We're like, oh, awesome, because the dive shop has like Bitcoin logos everywhere. Like, I'm training from a dive shop that's huge Bitcoiner as well. All right, let's go to the charts. Weekly chart is looking good. Look, as long as this candle is green, we are still okay. I like the fact that the price has flipped on the MRI. That means a new green star candle is coming, and the longer we consolidate at the top, the more confident I will be when Bitcoin eventually breaks 105,000 again. Daily chart, this was a massive candle. Even I didn't think that we could recover the 50 period moving average this strongly. So we have not broken the moving average structure. Now we're on a mission to get back above the 20 period moving average, and then we are all good. This is also why yesterday, when I described the descending triangle versus consolidated range, I aimed for consolidated range. And now we're back into a horizontal consolidated range. I really thought this had this ascending triangle structure, which had a high probability of a breakout. We broke down. Also, remember this line that I drew yesterday? And I said, we need to get over this line. And then I am 80-90% confident that this is a secondary low. And look what happened. I didn't touch this line. In fact, I didn't even have access to this computer until just now, because when I came home, I just passed out. And I must have drawn this line on the 1 hour chart, because if I was drawing this line on a 4 hour chart, I would have drawn it lower. I would have drawn the line at the top of these candles closes, not in the middle of a wick. So if I go to the 1 hour chart, you will see that I drew it right at the tops of candles close. And I also wasn't very accurate with it. I should have drawn it right here, right at the tops of the candle bodies, but maybe I didn't want to obscure the MRI resistance line. And look at that. We came up and literally almost to the penny got rejected from the MRI resistance line on a 1 hour MRI top. This is, I mean, I didn't see this at all. I had no idea. But had I been in front of the market, this is an absolute sell for me. But I really like this recovery. I'm liking that we recovered at a moving average support, at an MRI buy. We are now at a 1 hour green star candle, and I am bullish.
Yep.
We have replaced the MRI resistance line with a slightly lower MRI resistance line. But if we can get back to the area of 101,000 and change, 101 and a half, I become very, very bullish. This is not, this is a top meant to be broken. We now have a secondary high. If we go to a 4 hour chart, I can start to draw a beautiful trend line here, that if we can hold this trend line right into this horizontal line, yes, it looks the same as this blue, which broke down, but I am confident that this time we're going to break out, because on this kind of look, that's usually a breakout area than a breakdown. All right, I am done with my Bitcoin analysis. I'm just going to take a sneak peek at the markets. Really curious how gold did yesterday. Gold did very, very well. Remain bullish on gold. I would love to see a blow off MRI top above 3,000, and that would be a good sell area for gold. S&P crashed and recovered. I have no idea what Trump is doing with taxes. I would need to, on my next flight, I'll try to catch up on my politics. And that's about it. I'm not going to look at any stocks because I don't have time. And a lot of this data is delayed. But look, no ETFs. Fidelity sold some, but that's about it. So I'm really curious what the ETFs do today, because today accounts for yesterday as well. All right. And on that note, I'm going to end my screen share, and Matt, close us out.
Yeah, look, I mean, that was a long episode, 19 minutes to basically conclude that you and I are seeing exactly the same thing, which scares me a bit. But I think the end, we feel the same way. Let's get above 102, 101, and 500. It's onwards and upwards. That's it. Have a great day diving. Have a great day, everybody watching. We'll see you tomorrow for the midweek show.
Yeah, guys, please like, subscribe. I forgot to pull up the Financial Summit website. Please follow Financial Summit on Instagram. We're posting all this stuff about the Maldives event. Only 6 weeks left, so sign up. We still have villas over the water for the base price of the event included. 5 nights, all inclusive, food, alcohol, everything. Airport transfer, villa over the water. You can dive right in, though I wouldn't dive, it's a little shallow. And it's just an incredible event. And come and join us. Bye, guys.
Sure is. Sure is.